Hi, folks. I'm Jamie Hiles.
I'm Lydia Judy.
And I'm Derek. I was gonna go with something
Oh, you were
else.
gearing up for something and you
I
just
was.
failed.
It wasn't a fail,
I
it was a retraction.
Derek. What'd you do?
He's
You just
self-editing.
he's
I did
self-editing,
kinda
yeah.
self-edit there, actually, yeah.
Did you redact yourself?
Yep,
You work for the government? You just
yep.
redact yourself.
DOJ.
This
Redact-dedact.
is Screen this is Screenplay to Movies, a podcast where we review a horror movie each week. And guys, this week we did Scott Dickerson's sequel to a film that we actually have done on the podcast, The Black Phone. So we are doing Black Phone 2. And here's something I want to talk about real quick before we get into it, because there's a trend with sequels that makes me laugh. You ever notice that they always drop the off of a sequel? Because this
I
movie's
don't
not
think I
called The
Yeah.
noticed
Black
that.
Phone 2. It's called Black Phone 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's tons of other movies that do that. The French Connection, the sequel to that is just called French Connection 2. I don't know why they do that a lot of times. I mean, The Godfathers are still called The Godfather Part 2 instead of... Because that's a part, I think is why. Because it's called Part 2, right? But that's just funny. I always think that's funny when they do that. How are you guys doing tonight?
Terrible. How are you guys?
I got beat today by a 4-year-old, so that's good for the pride.
Yeah, I mean,
I got
I
beat
told you to
today by
quit.
my car door.
I told you to quit showing up at preschool playgrounds and challenging people to fight. You're not Finn, Derek. You just can't do it. I imagine Derek walking home and he gets bullied by those kids from Step Brothers. They make him lick the shit. All right. Well, I'm
Gross.
doing okay, but we have a lot to talk about with this one because Lydia, you picked this, and this is actually a first watch for all three of us. Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
So, before we get into the actual movie, what were your expectations going into this one? I mean, I think we were all kind of cautiously interested because we knew that it involved the grabber from beyond the grave, and we knew it's somewhat involved dreams. So, what were your expectations going in?
I really didn't know what to expect. I was optimistic, but sometimes with sequels like this from this type of movie can, usually not be quite as good as the first one. And
Hmm.
seemed like we all liked the first one pretty good. So
I think we all did. Yeah. I think we all gave it pretty high marks. Derek, did you have any expectations going into this thing?
Um, Not positive expectation, and I agree with what you said, Lydia. A lot of times, especially like when a movie is profitable and maybe you didn't expect it, like there's no plan behind it.
Hmm.
And so a lot of times they're like, we got to get another one out there. And that's where like that the curve just goes straight down a lot of times. But yeah, I hadn't watched the trailer, so I had no real expectations of what to think about this.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit on the show when we kind of found out, oh, look, here's a picture of the grabber, and oh, he's going to be invading dreams. And we were like, oh, well, that's pretty. I mean, hey, this guy right here already has the corner of the market on that shit. What are we doing?
mhm.
Like that's kind of a swing. But I mean, I guess they're like, where else can we take it? He's definitely dead. I mean, we know he's dead by the end of that first movie. So it's like the only other way would be a prequel, and then that wouldn't be fun because we know he gets away just to be killed by Finn later. So they're
Right.
kind of in a no-win situation with this. And we'll talk about if they succeeded in and continue the story. Um So the first thing I want to talk about is let's start with the time jump because we have like a 3-year time jump essentially. And guys, I'm not gonna lie, like Finn looked like he aged like fucking 10 years to me. And so did Gwyn. Like those kids grew up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with
Like
Survivors.
that.
They grew up
yeah,
tough.
I was shocked by like how much they grew up. I was like, holy crap, man. They uh they definitely, sprouted up there.
Mhm.
Especially Gwen. I mean, she cuz she was such like she seemed so young in the first one, right?
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah.
when did the Black Phone come out? 2022, right? So, it's like in real life 3 years have passed. And it's like, man, those kids shot up like weeds in the meantime.
Mhm.
It's it throws me for a loop when it happens. The same thing happens like when you see clips of like the Stranger Things is different because it took such a long time, but when you
Mhm.
see
Yeah.
clips of Stranger Things like season 1, you forget, "Oh, yeah, these were literal fucking kids
Yeah.
when this
Like
show started."
very small children.
Yeah, they were kids. It's
Mhm.
crazy. But, what do you think about the time jump and kind of where we find our characters in this?
It was kind of confusing because it actually I feel like it starts in the 50s. Like the opening scene is like
Mhm.
in the 50s. So me and Jake were immediately like, "Wait, is this a I thought this was a sequel." Like we're like, "Is this a prequel?"
Yeah. Yeah, because it shows because she basically has the dreams of it and stuff, and you're just like,
Mhm.
"What is going on?" The 50s. And then,
Mhm.
I was like, the last one took place in the 70s, so and then now in 1982 is when so it's technically 4 years past. But
Mhm.
I think where we pick up these characters is pretty interesting. I think that it's interesting to see where they are because Finn's still,
Mhm.
like, messed up from
Oh
what
yeah.
happened to him,
Oh,
so he's very angry.
Mhm. He's
I mean,
trying to cope.
the first time we see him, he's beating the shit out of some kid. Um, and then Gwen is, still having her dreams, um, that saved Finn in the first place, or at least got the police there. He saved himself, but like she's still having those dreams. And then what I think is really interesting, Nightmare on Elm Street did this too, uh, is where we see their father f- from where he was last time. Because in the first movie,
mhm.
he's kind of he's a drunk and he's kind of abusive.
Mhm.
And uh, when we meet him in this one, he's literally trying,
Oh, yeah.
and is a way better father. He hasn't drank in 3 years, you know, like he's literally trying. And I think that's a fun uh character arc that we see that happen. Alice's father goes through a similar arc. It's just not as pronounced as this one.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that?
Love it. Love to see it.
I do too. So I didn't watch the first one. So, like, whenever I kept thinking, "Man, I remember, like, calling him out for being a dickhead in the first one." And in this one, he's like he is trying. He has, like, flipped his life up. He's got, something to live for now.
Yeah,
Um,
he has his kids. Yeah, he
yeah.
realizes that.
So I think
And
it was a
like
really great arc.
I like how he goes in and grab like when he goes to the fridge, he grabs a soda out
Mhm.
instead of like, in the first movie it was always alcohol and stuff. And his character so he has like and I like how he's an active participant by the time the ending of the movie happens as well.
Mhm.
Um so the characters this time this is interesting because we have the whole setup of, her having the dreams and then seeing the camp, getting the phone call from her mother. And so they go to the Christian camp and everything. And we're introduced to like a whole slate of new characters. And this is actually a rarity. This is a horror movie where nobody dies besides the people that died in the past.
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no body count in this, except for the people that he's already killed at the camp, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what you gonna say, Lydia?
I was like, I kind of feel like the way that they flash back to those deaths, I felt like they counted. Like they were
They
very much
count, but
disturbing.
no, they're disturbing, yeah, and they're but as far as like all of our characters that we're introduced to, our new characters survive the
Yeah.
ordeal. I mean, a couple of them get fucked up. That
Mm-hmm.
fucking that Christian dude and his wife get kind of fucked up, but
Yeah.
like everybody else is like perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Um, and it's very interesting because like for the first like 20 almost 30 minutes we don't see the grabber. He's not introduced. It's like setting up her sleepwalking, her seeing the kids and stuff. And we don't see him until they arrive at the camp. And
He shows up. There's that scene with Finn outside where he's smoking a cigarette. Really
well, yeah, but he doesn't physically interact with the characters until
yeah.
he interacts with Gwen inside the
So
inside the
help
thing.
Claire. Yeah. So let's bounce this off because I wasn't sure how they really approach this. So is Finn just having hallucinations of him at first and then later
Yes.
seeing his ghost, or is that his ghost kind of
So
antagonizing him?
so he is when he's smoking the weed outside and that's just him living with the ghost of it, I think. Because I don't think he really sees him until and interacts with him until they go to the lake, because he's only at the lake.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's where
because
his
he's basic.
power is.
That's where his power is. So he's at the lake, and that's when he has his interaction with Finn, um, on the phone, and Finn really doesn't see him; he just hears him and such. Because Finn, I don't think actually physically sees the grabber in this movie at all. He just interacts with his like
Entity.
entity in ethereal form, which we got to talk about all that stuff because the rules to this guy are kind of fucking wonky,
They
and
are.
we'll get into all of that here in a minute too. Um, but I do want to touch on our new characters because there's a couple of really good ones. Um, we have Mondo, who I think is fucking badass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love this guy.
Me too.
He's like the camp counselor, the head of the camp, and an ex-convict, and he's just kind of seen it all. And the fact that he took over this camp to, you know, basically try to find these missing kids. He promised the parents that, and so when the weather allows, he goes out there and tries to find them, which is a pretty cool backstory. And then
Mm-hmm.
he has a really good scene with Finn as well, where he kind of tells him about his anger. And I was like, man, I really like this fucking Mondo character. He's pretty cool,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially when he's kind of standing up to to the grabber, because they call him Wild Bill Hickok, and he's like, I'm gonna get those kids back, Bill. He's like, my name's not Bill. He's like, Bill Grabber. There's, it's evil either way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of Gwen's little crush, her little boyfriend, which is actually um Robin's brother, Ernesto.
Mm-hmm.
And remember Robin from the first movie, which was the coolest kid ever.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Ernesto as a character? And that we kind of keep his family in this story.
I like him.
Yeah, I do too. And I also just like how different he kind of is from his brother.
Oh, he's the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I like that there was that connection.
And the performances of everybody are pretty great too, because we have Mustang, who is like she's Mondo's daughter, I think, right?
I,
And
I
then
think so, yeah.
there's the two uber Christians, who that woman I just wanted to punch in the face the entire movie.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were setting her up to be like a secret accomplice, especially
No,
after like it was revealed that Bill had went to that camp.
no, she's just an awful person,
Oh no,
basically.
I know. I just expected, like, I was in, like, whenever they introduced her and then they said that Bill had went to the camp, I was like, wonder if they're gonna pull an accomplice type situation.
No. What did she call her? Because Gwen has a foul mouth. She calls her some kind of what was it that she called her in
I
the
don't know,
fucking
but I
thing?
I
love.
don't think that we can repeat what
Yeah.
what she called her.
It's definitely a T word, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, there was a few of them. There was a few of them.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
pretty fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
She throws her down. So our setup is, they go there. She goes there to try to figure out why her mom was there, and then we just get kind of almost lore just thrown at us, like Gwen's kind of making up the lore almost. Like, oh, this is what's happening because of this. And I kind of almost feel like that Tim Robinson sketch. You sure about that?
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
Yeah.
So our setup's pretty fun because I do like the setting of the snow-covered camp. I think that's great. And I think this movie looks great,
I
too. I think
agree.
it's shot extremely well. And Ethan Hawke is back as the grabber, and he does a great job. But the grabber's kind of a bitch, guys.
Well, a little bit.
I don't know. He has some cool scenes, like when he's fucking skating on his, like, bone feet on the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
lake. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he there's some stuff where he looks cool, but he's a bitch. Like he's like just like he was in the first movie. He's weak. He
Yeah.
he pretends to have power. He
Mm-hmm.
always pretends to have power. And like the first attack on Gwen is pretty cool when she's being, when like what that we see in the real world when she's getting kind of thrown. It's all Nightmare on Elm Street shit. It's all nightmare stuff, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
that's Tina's death. That's just Tina's death revisited, right? But it's still pretty fun and pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Um,
like, why don't more movies do that?
yeah. Well, I mean, it's because
It's so
it's kind
fun.
of hard to outdo what's already been done as part of it.
True. I don't think this
But
felt like it was like even stealing from that though. Like, I mean, it
that,
definitely was like
I
very.
think
I mean, it's
I think it liberally takes from the Nightmare on Elm Street series, pretty liberally. That doesn't mean it's necessarily bad, but I feel like it liberally lifts quite a bit of stuff. I mean, just the whole if you die in your dreams, you're dead thing is and that he comes at her in the dreams. The only twist here is that she actually is dreaming she's in control. She is dreaming herself,
mm-hmm.
but that's kind of dream master style.
Mm.
So I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing. If you weren't going nightmares, you're fucked because
It's been
Nightmare on Elm
done.
Street did it all. They already did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They already did it.
I guess in my
But
mind, I was thinking like the grabber's not in a dream. He's just in a different like realm of reality.
but he
And
is in a
she's
dream.
traveling to that.
Yeah, but she only goes to that
Like
realm when she's asleep.
they're saying she's dreaming because she's asleep, but I feel like she's not actually just like in the dream world.
See,
I mean, when you're
I'll
asleep,
She's running
and you're
around in the
she's
woods.
like
Like,
astro projecting is
yeah,
kind
that's
of
kind of
what
how I
it's.
felt.
kind
And
of, yeah, and
I
like
took
they're
it
in the real
as,
life too. But I mean, she has to fall asleep in order to enter the state. So I mean,
yeah.
it's the same diff, and they have to stay awake to watch her sleep to see if she gets attacked. And then, I mean, guys, that's That's the first Nightmare on Elm Street. She gets
Yeah.
cut on the arm in her dream and it bleeds in real life. Guys, that's Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, that's all nightmare stuff. And again, I'm not saying that this makes this movie bad, but I mean, it came from that movie. All these ideas were pulling from Nightmare. They just tried to find a way to make it different, which is fine. And they did for some parts. Because the astral projection, I think, is very interesting. But here's where I think that the rules get wonky, right? Like, I feel like the rules are not really nailed down here because it's like he only can interact with Gwen when she's asleep, but he can interact with everybody else
While she's asleep also.
while she's asleep.
So
Yeah.
here's my interpretation of this, and it's just my interpretation. I kind of feel like she's a pretty powerful medium, it seems. It kind of felt like he needed her in a way to like build a bridge in order to do the things that he's doing. Because there's a scene where they're like, "Oh, have you noticed anything weird?" And they've noticed some like weird stuff, but obviously nothing to the effect of him attacking people and hurting people.
Mm.
Only
Mhm.
whenever she is present.
But
That's how
but
It definitely
but
wanted
they also
them.
but they also say that they've experienced a bunch of weird stuff ever since he died because he's tied
Yeah.
to that ground. So that's what I'm saying about like the mythology is very wonky.
It's
And
just
then
not
also
fleshed
I
out or
agree.
explained. Yeah.
yeah,
And
and
this
then we
movie
also
explains a lot. So the
ex-
fact that they didn't explain that.
it explains a lot and it also at the same time explains so little. Right? We
Yeah.
just kind of get there's the whole scene in the church after Gwen is attacked for the first time and everybody sees it. And they have that like kind of um that kind of like, oh, this is our plan, this is what we're gonna do kind of thing. We're gonna find these kids, and there's like just a big exposition dump in this church where they're like, oh, these kids were killed here
Yeah.
and all of this stuff all in that one scene. And then I feel like the pacing is very strange in this movie. You know what I mean? Like, because that's almost leading into the third act, but it's not quite the third act, but it kind of is the third act. It's kind of wonkily paced.
Like usually you would have this like disbelief go on for a little bit longer from like the rest of the cast kind of thing, like where
Yeah,
like
and
Armando wouldn't have believed them for a little bit longer maybe.
until he has an experience. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
not even really, but yes, you're right. That's kind of it. But also it's more that we kind of gear up like we're going to the third act when he finds the first body. That's kind of seems like that's going to be the third act. But it's really not because she has to have a whole other realization that
Mhm.
she controls the dreams and I can get out whenever I want. And this is why I said that this makes once that happens, once she blows up the phone booth, right? And then kind of grabs him and, tells him that, she's taken, the power back or whatever and headbutts him. From that point on, the grabber, I don't think, is no longer a threat because she knows how to beat him already.
A threat to
Instead of it,
her.
well, a threat to her, but I just think that it kind of loses some of the suspense in that because then it's like, oh, okay, well, now she already knows. And it's not a moment where during the final battle, she realizes this,
Mhm.
and then it's like, oh, I'm not afraid of you. I figured this out. This is what we're going to do. Because in the entire end, the only reason the grabber is able to hurt anybody is because she's busy underwater bringing up
Yeah.
the bodies.
Mhm.
Mhm.
If she didn't have to bring up the bodies, she just would have fucking wrecked it.
Yep. No, I agree with that. But she,
Uh,
does get knocked in the water.
yeah, well, she slides into the water. She
Does she
runs and
does she
slides into
get
the water, and then he hits because she goes to swing the axe at her. She slides into the water, and it
mm,
hits the fucking one dude, and he drags him around, which is a
mm,
great visual, by the way.
yeah.
When
Yeah.
he's attacking the people, it's pretty cool because they can't see him, um, except they can see the ice. Up
Yeah.
like the ice from the ice skates. They see it fucking swinging, or starting to appear, so they can kind of track his movements, which is pretty
Mhm.
cool. But like I said, what's really interesting is that he can interact with them and they can interact with him. They just can't see him, which is very strange, right?
Yeah. I also think it's strange, but there is something that I like about it. Like visually, like him and story-wise, it's just like him being able to actually like mess with them without like having to beat around the bush the whole time of like, I can sense something over here, you know. It's kind of
Mm.
just fun to just get right into the action with him.
Yeah, we do get a big revelation before we get to the actual end. We get a revelation that changes everything, which is that, and I don't know how to feel about this, guys, but we get a revelation that the mother's apparent self-inflicted death in the first film was actually the grabber because she had dreams about the children that are
Mhm.
being kidnapped, and she goes to investigate it. And he sees her when she's snooping around, so he attacks her and then stages her uh death scene to make it appear like she did it herself. So she's the grabber gives her this information because it's he says like it's the last bit of his humanity, essentially. Like that's the only thing he can give her before he has to kill her. And then she obviously relays that information to Finn and her dad in a scene I like, which we'll talk about. What do you guys think of this twist?
It wasn't needed, I don't think. I don't know that it obviously adds something to the characters. It ups their, like, hatred and animosity, and it just adds, to the story, but, I mean, it's not really needed because her mom really wasn't a prominent character in the first one, so it was just yeah, I mean, it was fine, I guess, but it wasn't needed.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Lydia?
Um, I don't know. I kind of took it as like there's a lot of healing that needs to happen in this movie. And they were like, well, let's heal this too. You know, like I thought it was absolutely heart wrenching to watch. I can say that. It
Yeah. Yeah,
definitely
the scene
was,
was very well done.
I
yeah.
take it back. I've had a long time to sit on it,
You had like 2
and
seconds.
I I take it back. Because it really does change the entire dynamic of, like, how they perceived their mom,
It kind of
and
does.
Yes.
so I do take it back. I feel like it was yeah, and also, like,
And their dad.
the well, yeah, no, because it's gonna help yeah, and it really does the dad, like, it explains a lot about the dad, and I'll be honest with you, I would need to rewatch the first one because I didn't take too many notes on him, just that he was a dickhead. Um, but yeah,
Quit
it
playing with
really
that.
does
Quit playing with that.
I'll put my magnets down. Um, but, it gives him a lot of closure, because obviously, like, that had a cascade effect on their entire family. I take it back,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm of two minds on it. I think from a character perspective, it is pretty interesting because it does allow these characters to heal more. It makes this, their hatred for him deeper and their connection closer, so to speak. And and it reframes the mother. The thing is, we already get her reframed in the first movie as like she wasn't crazy. She
Mm-hmm.
had the same gift. But now they make it to where she didn't end her life, which is nice. That she was taken from them. And that way I do think it's pretty good. However, what I think it does is it shrinks the world, because then it makes everybody tied together. And movies do this all the time, and it's one of my
Yeah.
it's kind of a cardinal sin, because it makes the universe feel way smaller.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, not only was the grabber in town kidnapping kids, not only did he kill their mom, and not only did he happen to grab Finn, who is the son of the person that he killed. You know what I mean? It kind of makes
Mm-hmm.
it makes it
Even
too small.
even you know, Mondo was like, "Oh, that's Starlight. You're Starlight's kids." And you're just like,
Yeah,
"Starlight?" Like, "Oh
yeah,
no, you
Yeah,
knew their
now that
mom." Like now this is like Uncle Mondo all of a sudden.
yeah. It's like, that's what I mean. The world just feels too small at this point. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you're walking into fucking Cheers. Everybody knows your name. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say one last thing. This actually does change a lot for Gwen.
mhm.
Um, because her perception, and it's a really heartfelt conversation, or like closure she has at the end of the movie when she's talking to her mom. Like, she fears that, or she thinks of this as a curse. And
Mhm.
I'm sure in the back of her mind, she's thinking, I'm going to end up like my mom, because my mom killed herself because she was crazy, or people thought she was crazy, or what. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that tidbit out there.
So you could still have that conversation without making the grabber be exactly the one to kill her.
You
She could
could,
have, and because she could still have that conversation with her. And
but
like I
if
said, I see why they did it, but I also feel like it shrinks the world.
oh, I agree, it does shrink the world. I don't think it hits as hard, or as heartfelt, if, because otherwise, how would we know that she didn't commit suicide?
Well, they could explain that the same way. I mean, there's plenty of, she could have the conversation with her mom on the phone. She could have found out that she died a different way. Any of that stuff's possible.
Excuse me.
But it's just they wrap it into the grabber because that way it, made it the stakes more personal. But the thing is, the stakes didn't need to be more personal, because the grabber tried to kill Finn, is trying to kill his sister, and Finn killed that guy. I don't see how you could get even more personal than that. And
Mhm.
he hates him because he made him kill his brother, he thinks. So it's like, it
And
just kind of feels like hat on a
we could
hat
have
on a
had
hat.
the backstories of the boys who were murdered too, because like I thought one of the more interesting things about the first one that stuck with me was like, as when you die, you kind of start to forget. If you're in limbo, you
Hmm.
forget who you are and what you were all about. You just start. And these ones have been dead for so long, they really have nothing to go on. They don't know why
Yeah.
they're here or anything. So it would have been nice for them to be like, I know your name and it's this, and like, here's your
Yeah.
name before we release you or
The
something.
kids were 100% just plot devices.
Mhm.
They were definitely just MacGuffins to find. And the fact that, like, I mean, when she's like, oh, he derives his power from them not being found, is kind of just like a fucking wild thing to just come up with. You know what I mean? like like it's kind of
Like,
like,
I
I
mean,
was like,
he was collecting souls. It's kind of like Voldemort. It's like you break your spirit apart enough and you'll live forever kind of thing. And
yeah, it's very
he just
interesting.
had these
It's just,
three souls over here at this place lingering and was just like, well, I guess your disembodied soul is going to go with them where
I
you are
guess,
the
but
most powerful.
and then it's like, oh, by the way, if they're found, you just lose all the power. Oh, okay. I guess, is that written in the rule book? I don't know. Um, but this
Yeah.
the ending the ending is the final battle there is pretty fun. Like I said, there's some really cool visuals, like when he hits the axes the one people across their head and they start to bleed, and he attacks Finn. Um, but then again, it's just like kind of like Finn just kicks him off of him, and then Gwen just kind of goes up to him and is like, "I brought friends," and then the kids start attacking him, and then they just absolutely fucking wreck him. Like he just gets bitched out so bad, right?
Yeah, he kind of does. Like they start to attack
Which
him, and then he
don't
gets
get me
held
wrong,
down.
I love it because I love
Yeah,
that I love watching him just be a fucking loser bitch, because that's what he is and that's what he was in
kind of get
life.
torn apart. Yeah,
Yeah. And so I love watching him just suffer. But
really great visuals though. Like,
oh yeah, I think he looks great. Like the makeup on him is really cool. It's like it's like rotting fucking face and stuff looks pretty interesting. Um I love that they chop his leg off after Finn bashes his face into the ground a bunch of times and tells him, like, you know what hell is? Ice. And just slams his head about 15 times. And then the kids just kind of drag him down after she stabs him in the head. Yeah, what do you guys think of like his demise?
there was. Go ahead, Lydia.
Oh, I don't even really know what I was gonna say. I just seeing Finn like slamming nothing into the ice, like that
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
And I do like how he tells him, "I'm not afraid of you." He
Mm-hmm.
lets go of his fear and, tells
Uh-huh.
him, "I'm not afraid of you," and smashes his face a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Derek?
There was an interesting thing that they did on the way, like into the icy grave. He recaptured his mask for some reason, so I'm like, oh, they're gonna set something up. But other than that, like, I felt like it was a really great closure for the both of them to be able to kind of dismantle this POS. Uh, so yeah, and I love the fact that the other entities, the dead children, kind of got
Mhm.
an opportunity, as small as it might be, to like take a piece of him.
Yeah, and they pull him down to the depths of hell too.
Mm-hmm.
Like he freezes with them.
Yep, back where it all started.
Yep. Uh so yeah, I mean I think it's fine. Um there's some fun visuals like I said, and some fun I guess um I mean I do really like, to jump back a little bit, I do like when the visual of her exploding that telephone booth is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then but I just think it happens a little too early. I just think it happens a little
Mm,
too early. I think it should have happened in
mm-hmm.
that final battle. And then, because that's when she pulls out her trump card and realizes, oh, you know what I mean? Ah, this is, you're weak. I'm strong. You need me, you know, let's go. Because they go kind of into that final battle with like already knowing how to beat him and that it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that kind of takes a little bit of the suspense out of that. Um, Yeah. And then, of course, I want to talk about that scene with Finn, his dad, and Gwen, when basically she confronts them both about basically the fact that they're running away from their feelings, and they were self-medicating, and she says some kind of sharp things to her dad, and he's kind of like, "Hey, listen, I'm like, it's things that hurt because he used to be like that, and he's trying really hard not to be."
Mm-hmm.
Um, but she confronts him, "Hey, you know he's smoking weed. You smell it on him and you just ignore it." What do you guys think of that whole bit?
I really liked this part. This is where I feel like the healing really happens. I got really emotional
Mm-hmm.
seeing seeing Finn and their dad, you know, let those emotions out in that way, like felt like a little therapy moment. I do feel like this is where I was like, okay, this is getting really explainy.
It does
But
get a little. It does get a little. Yeah, a little explainy.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just like really like this
exposition
movie
city.
really just
Yeah,
yeah, just like lays it all out there for you, and you're like, okay, I gotcha, I get it. But it did make
yeah,
me emotional. These actors did a fantastic job with this scene.
yeah. I think the performances across the board are great. Honestly,
Yep, I ditto
what do you
that.
think, Derek?
It felt like a therapy session, and it felt like their family needed that. And kudos to her, you know, she's the youngest. A lot of times those conversations are impossible for someone to start, and especially if you're like younger. I had a conversation like not quite like that, obviously, but with one of my mom's boyfriends, and it was a tough discussion to have. So they really made her
Yeah.
character and like her and Finn like really strong characters,
Hmm.
and that's great to see.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it kind of deepened their kind of connection, like their understanding of each other. And I also like how after Gwen has a conversation with her mom, she goes over and whispers what she heard to Finn. And we get to just see his reaction to it, which is really great, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then, also Mondo gets to call the parents to say, hey, we found him, you know,
Yeah.
which is really great. And so that family's healed and gets closure of what happened to their kids. So all in all, it all ends like nice with a bow on it. Um, so yeah, that is Black Phone 2. Uh, what do you guys think?
Um. So I liked the movie. It was pretty entertaining. Um. I thought some of the like visuals were really cool. I liked the grabber in this as far as like it's aesthetically how he looked. And some of those scenes were really nice, like him skating on his bone feet and stuff like that. The acting was really good. I love
Hmm.
these characters. And really because like Gwen is so memorable in
Hmm.
like how fiery she is, and like she's got a personality that stands out. So hopefully that actress has a long road ahead of her, and um you have a connection because of the first one. I thought they were pretty great characters from
Hmm. Oh yeah.
the first one. So I gave this movie or the original, the first one, I gave it an 8.5. It does not live up to that.
No.
It's still a good movie. I'm going to give this one a 7.
What do you think, Lydia?
Yeah, I think I'm right around there too. I really enjoyed it. I really did, truly enjoy it. I really like the cinematography. I like the setting at the frozen lake, like the
Mhm.
frozen camp is really cool. I like that he came back as a ghosty kind of figure, like as that's kind of an unexpected thing. I feel like I don't know. I can't think of another franchise off the top of my head that does that. That has like a live, you know, villain in the first one, and then it's ghost villain in the second one. Do we have any of those on the top of your
I'm
head?
sure we do. I'm sure
I
we
mean, there
do.
must be. There must be, but this
Yeah.
one, I don't know. This feels unique to me. Like even though you're like it's well, it's obviously so similar to Nightmare on Elm Street, but I feel like it is like kind of unique in its own way of the way that this story goes. And I like the healing. I like the characters. I like the acting. It's all really good. I'm gonna give it a
Yeah,
7.
I like
7.5.
I like I like the characters as well. And the acting. I think the direction's solid. Um, I think the direction is really solid. I think the cinematography is great. I think it looks great. Um, for the most part. I like the aesthetic of when we kind of are in like a flashback. We go to that kind of Super 8 16 millimeter kind of filter with the the fuzzy
Mm-hmm.
view. I like that. And so I think that I like seeing the characters develop. I like some of the action bits. I think are pretty solid, but I don't think it's like it's not a patch on the first movie. Like I don't think it's near as good as that first movie. That first movie kind of took me by surprise about how good it was, how suspenseful it was, how, full of dread it was. This feels more like a popcorn sequel, which is fine. And I like it just fine, but I have some nitpicks that are hard for me to kind of fully engage with it. I'm around where you guys are, but I think I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to go like a 6.5 instead of a 7 because there's stuff that I really think is good here, but I feel like there's just some wonky pacing and a bunch of exposition dumps in this thing. But the stuff that really works does work like gangbusters. I do like it. So it's not a bad movie by any stretch. It's solid 6.5 for me.
And if you
So
guys are
now
curious on the numbers, so the
Mhm.
budget for this one was 30 million,
Mhm.
and it grossed worldwide 132. So it
Yeah,
made 400% return on investment, which is always nice.
not counting marketing.
Well, yeah, but as far as like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it was a sizable hit. It was decent. There are
It
talks
just came
about
out.
I mean it came out in 2025. It's had its
Oh, did
theatrical
it?
yeah.
run. Oh yeah. It's done. Yeah. Um the it's got it's got a B cinema score and a 72% of Rotten Tomatoes, so about in line with where we kind of all are. There are talks about maybe there'll be a third movie. Uh, Basically, they're saying that there could be various sequels, but it really depends on the success of this one. And then uh, C. Robert Cargill, the writer, said that he would like it, but only if they could find a story that works. And I mean, that's what Derrickson said too. Scott Derrickson, the director, is he would only make one if he could find something that's better than the other two.
Yeah, I
So the
would
thing
move
is,
past the grabber.
or stick with the grabber and move on to a new set of victims or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a prequel.
Or you could do. There's more kids out there that haven't been found, and so he's at a new location, and that's where he's tied to.
I would totally be down for them moving like the world forward because these two they
They're
have
not
the
going to do a
gift.
movie. They're not going to do a movie following the adventures of those two characters without the grabber,
I
Derek.
mean,
That's
I
not
would
just
I
not
would
going to
do it.
happen. That's not going to happen. Uh,
I just
I think if they do a third one, it'll be grabber focused for sure. I mean, that's what these things, live and die by. I don't know if there's any more story to tell. They kind of,
yeah.
I don't think, I personally don't think they should make a third one because I think it'd just be diminishing returns.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
you
think
got a
No,
this
ways
was
I'm
a
to
with
good.
do
you.
really solid
This was
movies.
a
That's the
nice
best
ending.
path forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, when they announced that they were doing a sequel, I was pretty scared to death. I mean, this exceeded my expectations. It was good.
Yeah.
But I was scared to death because I was like, how? The first movie ended perfectly, you know, kind of wrapped everything up. But so this is kind of an epilogue to a degree. It's fun. All right, guys, it's time to Atkinize this movie. Who would Tom Atkins play?
Thrill me.
Mondo.
Their dad.
Yeah, I think we put him as their dad in the first movie, so might as well just carry him over.
Keep him.
Yep, give him
Makes
something.
sense.
Give him more character development. So, guys, it's my turn to pick, and here's what we're going to do. We are going to jump back in time a little bit to the mid-90s when we are going to watch the horror fantasy Greg Weiden directed, Christopher Walken starring, The Prophecy.
Oh. All right.
Yes. Have you ever seen The Prophecy, Lydia?
I don't think I have.
And Derek, you probably haven't seen it in ages, yeah?
It will be like, if I have, it'll be like watching it for the first time.
So you guys can watch The Prophecy on Tubi, Paramount Plus, Hulu, Sling TV, Pluto. You can rent it on Amazon Prime, and it is on Fubo TV. So
Nice.
you can find The Prophecy everywhere. So I'm excited to watch this one. It is, I mean, we have not done a Christopher, well, we've done one Christopher Walken because we've done Sleepy Hollow, right?
Yep.
So this will be, but he didn't talk in that one. This one, he has a lot of fun shit to say. So we're going with angels and the war in heaven, and we are going to see what happens when a police officer gets involved in all this shit with The Prophecy, starring Christopher Walken, Elias Cates, Eric Stoltz, Virginia Madsen, and Viggo Mortensen. So it's a fucking stacked cast, you guys. Excited for you guys to watch this. So that will do it for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us online at HiLaProductions.com. Follow us on Facebook at HiLa Productions. Be sure to stay tuned after the episode for the opening scene of the feature film we are currently working on, Secret Admirer. And we are also working on a new short film, which we were going to reveal the title to this week, but we're going to hold off another week because there might be changes afoot. So stay tuned for that. Maybe we haven't settled on the title. You'll find out. Next week, we'll reveal the title for the short. So until next week, for Derek Lemaster and Lydia Judy, I'm Jamie Hiles. Remember, if you're going to scream bloody movies.